Good morning, everybody. How are you today? Wow, it's Monday again, and we have got 2 weeks before we break up for Easter, which I know seems quite a long time, but it will fly by. And I've lit my candle today, and the reason that I've got my candle is always because it's good for us to focus, and some of us think about God being with us. But I also wanted to light our candle today to send you a bit of strength, because the next few weeks you're going to start to get a little bit tired, and all the adults around you have got lots of extra things that they're thinking about. In fact, you may already know this, but tomorrow is the anniversary, 1 whole year since we went into our first lockdown. That is an enormous amount of time. For some of you, that's about a fifth or a sixth of your lifetime. So it is an enormous amount of time that we have been struggling a little bit with the changes that has brought to us. So I'm lighting our candle today for you guys, and I'm lighting it for all the teachers, and I'm lighting it to help you get through the next 2 weeks. So I know that if God is something that you think about, that God will be with you, and if not, I know that you will have the strength to help yourself get through the next couple of weeks. So I'm going to put my candle over there so we can still see it. Oh, it smells so lovely. And I'm going to say, of course, peace be with you. Now, my assembly this morning is about being different. And at the moment, I'm hearing lots of things in the news. We heard about Black Lives Matter, didn't we? And then at the moment, we're hearing a lot about the differences between girls and boys, or ladies and men and women. And lots of people are talking about things. And there's lots of troubles, actually, with differences at the moment. But I want to celebrate differences, because we are all different, and it makes our world a wonderful, wonderful place. So, to start our assembly, let's have a little look at this picture. And there's lots of different people there, and there will be people that you can relate to, so you think, oh yes, that person's a little bit like somebody I know. And there might be people on there that you're not so familiar with, or you don't have so much time that you spend with them. So have a look there. Look, there's some younger people, some older people, some people that are female, some people that are male, some people from different backgrounds and races, some people with different coloured skin, some people with disabilities. Got lots and lots of people, and I just wanted to remind you that we are all so very different, and it makes us so very wonderful. So we are going to start by playing a game of Just Spot the Differences. Now, before I play this, you may need to really concentrate, so you're going to have to look at the pictures and see what you can see that is different.
I'm walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. Simon. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul.
Feel uninvited. Left your home in West LA. I'm not excited. So uninspired. On my way to play the bay while you're alone. This girl's a wonder. She loves me, yeah. She needs to know I love her. I wonder if we'll make it through this summer. Just wanna touch like back when we were younger. Yeah. Why don't you love me, love me, love me? Touch me, touch me, touch me no more. Why don't you love me, love me, love me? Touch me, touch me, touch me no more. Love me, love me, love me. Touch me, touch me, touch me. Love me, love me, love me. Touch me, touch me, touch me. I'm so divided, starstruck, but hate has got some indecisive. I'm over fighting, just can't wake up cold and sleep alone. This boy's some trouble. When he's around, my problems seem like double. His stupid eyes put me on ice, so no, no. Don't slow me down, don't wanna do this solo. Why don't you love me, love me, love me? Touch me, touch me, touch me no more. Why don't you love me, love me, love me? Touch me, touch me, touch me no more. Love me, love me, love me. Touch me, touch me, touch me. Love me, love me, love me. Touch me, touch me, touch me. I can't help myself, you're a drug to me.
Now, I hope that you enjoyed that, guys. I know I did. It was quite hard to find them all, wasn't it? But it was great when they showed you where they all were. Now, I use that just to help you to understand, really, that differences are great. And hopefully you had a bit of fun with that. And then I wanted to think about, in people, what things make us different. So these things might make us different. Our hair colour. So have a look around the room. Is there anybody with a different hair colour to you? Our beliefs, so what we believe in. Our skin colour, so there may be other children in your class or adults with different skin colours. The way we think, so it's a little bit like our beliefs, but just the way that we think generally. So some people have very mathematical brains, some people have very creative brains. The way we do things, so we might have certain ways that we do things, our eye colour, our height, our gender, so whether we are male or female. Or we might not be sure. There's people that have different choices with whether they are male or female. Our type of family, so we might have different types of family, and our body shape. Now there are loads of other things that make us different, loads and loads of other things, but they are just some of the things that make us different. Hopefully you'll be able to think of some other things. Now, with differences, like I said before, I think they are fantastic, but sometimes people find it hard to understand differences. And I want us to have a think about why that might be. So in our school, we accept each other and we know that people think in different ways, do things in different ways. I was talking to somebody in Year 5 last week who was telling me about having to help somebody in their class who forgets to put their chair in. And I just thought, how lovely. So they're quite different. One of them is perhaps very organised, the other one perhaps not so much. But how lovely that that person just would help the other person. And they're different, but they're looking after each other and kind of celebrating those differences. I just thought that was great. So sometimes people find it hard to understand differences. They might be jealous of talents, they might be jealous of friendships, they might feel bad about themselves, or they might feel that they're not very good at something. So generally when people struggle with differences, it's because they feel fear, or they feel worried, or they feel jealousy. They feel perhaps not the positive feelings that we like people to feel. So that's why people might feel a little bit, they might struggle with differences. And then I just wanted to think about, well, what sort of things that people might be unkind about. And I just thought of 3 things, and I thought you might have some other things. But people are sometimes unkind about race, so that often means the colour of skin, and we've heard about that recently. People are sometimes unkind about money. That's an interesting one. And I guess that's because some people have lots of money and some people have not so much money. And there's that jealousy again, isn't there? And I think that sometimes people find it very difficult if people have lots of something and they don't. So that might be another reason that people find it hard to accept one another. And then another one is disability. So disability when people are disabled, and I think that's a lot to do with fear. I think that people think, oh, I don't know what to say to that person, I wonder how they're feeling, what will they want me to say? And of course, that person is just the same as you and me inside. So just because somebody has a disability that makes them walk in a different way, or need to use a wheelchair, or makes them speak in a different way, it doesn't mean that they aren't exactly the same inside and want to be loved and cared for and respected and all of those things that all of us would want. So it's really important that we understand that. And then I've put there, what else might people be unkind about? And I think there's lots of things that you can think about that people might be unkind about. And of course we don't want people to be unkind, we want them to be... Oh, I think I heard some of you. Of course we want them to be kind. Now, when I was thinking about this assembly, I really wanted you to kind of hear a story that was a really great story. And I had a look at lots of stories, and I looked at the Good Samaritan, because the Good Samaritan is a story about people from different backgrounds helping each other. Do you remember that it's a story about the man that's in the road and then someone from another place comes and helps him? So I thought about the Good Samaritan and I really loved that story. But then I went on to one of my favourite places and I found a TED talk from a little boy who is telling you about somebody that has a difference, and it's sometimes called a disability, but it's just a different way of thinking. He is telling us about his friend who has autism, and I just found this story so lovely that I wanted to share it with you and celebrate this lovely difference. So I'm going to play you this now and I hope that you enjoy it.
My name is Cole, and over the next few minutes, I'm going to teach you that it's okay to be different. Since a young age, I've worn different colored socks and 2 different shoes. Why? Because I am unique, a standout from the crowd. I feel best when I am being me. This summer, a funny thing happened. I was in a bookstore with my mom when I realized everyone was strangely quiet. And so I did what needed to be done. I started singing. As a joke, my mom pointed to a book and said, "Hey Cole, this book is for you." I pulled it out and read the cover. Here's what it said: "You're weird." A creative journal for misfits, oddballs, and anyone else who's uniquely awesome. It's the best book ever. It tells everyone it's cool to be different. Today, I'm going to tell you about a friendship of mine that is a little different than you might expect. This is one of my best friends, Stephen. He is the happiest person I know. Stephen is 44 years old and has autism. Let me start by explaining how we became special friends. When my mom was just 13 years old, she was in the high school cafeteria about to have lunch with her friends. Then she passed a table of kids with special needs. Stephen was a boy at that table. He shouted out, "Hey, what's your name? Come sit with me." My mom sat down, and in that moment, a special friendship began. Stephen asked my mom 3 questions. He wanted to know what she was having for lunch, her phone number, and if they could be friends for 40 years. As my mom gave him her phone number and said yes, he clapped with excitement and said, "I will call you every day." Ever since that day, in 1988, he has kept his promise and called our house every single day. When I was born, Stephen was a special part of our family, and I've grown up calling him Uncle Stephen. Stephen is included in family dinners, he comes to my soccer games, he loves watching movies with us, and every couple of weeks he has a sleepover. Stephen has had autism his whole life. Autism spectrum disorder refers to a range of conditions characterized by challenges with social skills, repetitive behaviors, speech and nonverbal communications, as well as by unique strengths and differences. My friend Stephen is not able to drive a car, but he is able to memorize every phone number he has ever heard. There is no cure for autism, but I think Stephen is perfect the way he is. One of my favorite memories with Stephen is whenever a fire truck passes us. He shouts out, "When I grow up, I want to be a fire truck." That always makes me smile. He likes the idea of being a fireman, but he loves the idea of being a fire truck. Another thing that always makes me laugh is how much he likes to eat. Have you ever met someone who can eat a steak, 8 slices of pizza, French fries, apple pie, ice cream, and they are still starving? Well, Stephen eats all that almost every time we see him. Finally, one of my favorite memories with Stephen is when we play hide and seek. He always hides in the closets. I love playing hide and seek with Stephen. It always makes me smile. But not just me. He makes everyone smile. I don't think we need a cure for autism, just like we don't need a cure for freckles. Autism is not a disease, just like brown hair isn't a disease. You don't need to fix something that isn't broken. I look up to my Uncle Stephen as he is the happiest person I know. Stephen doesn't try to be like anyone else. He is exactly who he was meant to be. Imagine a world where we all live like Stephen. Find out what makes you different. Don't be afraid to stand out. Wake up, jump out of bed, and be exactly who you are. We are all a little different, and that's awesome. Thank you.
Oh, what a lovely, lovely TED talk. And what an amazing guy, hey, that little boy to do that talk and stand on that stage in front of all those people and talk so passionately about his friend, actually his mum's friend really to start with, and then somebody that became an amazing part of their family. So I just wanted you to have a little think about that story, and anybody perhaps that you know that you can celebrate today. We all have the right to play and be happy together, and I love this picture too. It just shows us lots of different people that have differences, perhaps because of where they come from, or because of their age, or because of their gender, and they're all surrounding our wonderful world. And you know, we always talk about our world being created by God, or the Big Bang, or a bit of both, whatever you may believe, because your beliefs may be different, and that should be celebrated too. So I would like to end on a prayer today, and I hope you have a lovely day. And if you would like to, you can put your hands together and close your eyes. Dear God, please always, always help us to celebrate each other's differences. Help us to accept people as they are. Help us to not be jealous or feel that we need to struggle with people's differences. Help us to live in harmony and look after each other. In your name. Amen. Thank you guys. I hope you have a super duper day. Enjoy yourselves, and I'll see you soon.